Part 5. The fairies here. We'd left off with the Major, and the Mighty Oak had just told him he wanted him to do a mission for him. You wanted me, Mighty Oak. Indeed I do. I have a mission for you which could be dangerous. Well, that sounds like my type of mission. The big bird flew up to the middle of the tree and put its ear to the trunk. Every now and then you would hear the herring gulls say, "Right, yes, I understand." It seemed like ages, and then the big bird stood back from the tree, saluted, and said, "I will not let you down." With that, the Major flew off. "Right, now, Timmy, I need you now, please. I need a newspaper that's in Ron's shed. Now, his locked shed, however, if you go in the cat flap straight ahead, opposite the back door, look, Timmy, what do you see?" Timmy looked. "Net curtains, sir." "Good boy. Timmy, now can you look through the net curtains? What do you see?" "Oh, I see what you mean. A round thing on the wall with things moving. Oh, I know what that is, Mighty Oak." Timmy was so excited. "There's one on the pavilion. It's a clock," he said very proudly. "Good boy. But underneath the clock," the little squirrel looked harder. "Oh, yes, underneath the keys are hanging on hooks." "So you want me to get the shed key?" he said excitedly. "Yes, please, Timmy." "Yes, sir," he said, saluting again. He ran along the winding path to the back door and pushed his way through the cat flap, and then leapt onto the counter. He reached up and grabbed the key. He knew this was the right key, as he had often seen it in the shed door. Ron didn't seem to lock it that often. He jumped off the counter, key in paw, and came out of the cat flap. Golly, where'd all these animals? Everyone had arrived. He hadn't realized there were some more animals here now. It must be nearly 3 o'clock. He leapt up to the fence next to Mighty Oak. "I've got it. Good boy. Now let's see. Now that looks about 4 foot high. Timmy, my boy, is there any deer around?" "No, sir. Remember, they'd never come here when the fair is here." "Quite right, my boy. Badger, can you help young Timmy here? He has to reach the lock on the shed." "Yes, of course I will." The Badger walked along the winding path with Timmy. Then they turned right towards the shed. The Badger stood next the shed and Timmy jumped on. His paw slipped and caught poor Badger on the nose. "Watch those claws, son. They're sharp." "Sorry." Poor Timmy was on tippy toes. He just could not reach. I know what. Step off me, Timmy. I'll jump up with my front paws against the shed." Timmy jumped off as gently as possible. The Badger turned to face the shed and then stood on his 2 hind legs. "Come on then, lad, up you come. Now watch those claws." "All right." Timmy climbed up his back. "Ouch!" "Mind out, will you? Watch your claws, young lad." "Oops, sorry." Timmy was standing on the poor Badger's head. "Yes, I can reach." "Well, get on with it then." Oh no, Timmy just realized he'd left the key on the ground. When Badger turned around, he put it down and forgot to pick it up. "Oh, it won't be a minute. I just forgot something." He climbed down. Poor Badger felt every claw. He picked the key up and climbed up Badger. Again he stood on tiptoes, put the key in the lock, turned it till it clicked. "We've done it, Badger. Good lad. Now can you get your foot out of my eye and climb down?" Timmy did that. In fact, he jumped off, and this time, which the Badger preferred. They walked back to the mighty tree. "Thank you both very much." "What's the matter?" The Badger said, "Oh no, we have not actually opened the door." The Badger said, "Oh, we'll have to do that again, won't we?" He was looking miserable, thinking of being scratched again. Timmy said, "Don't worry, I'll do it." And with that, he leapt along the path, leapt up to the knob, smartly turned it with his paw. Door clicked and swung open with Timmy on it, giggling, going, "Whee!" Timmy jumped down. He wondered why every single creature was looking at him. Most oddly, Badger started to say, "Timmy, why didn't you—" But the mighty tree interrupted and said, "Don't worry, Badger." The Badger walked towards his family, muttering to himself. "I'll get the newspaper," said Timmy. He jumped into the shed. "Now where is that newspaper, I wonder? I know Ron put it in here for safekeeping before Rose threw it away." And then Timmy spotted the box on the top shelf. Mr. White put all his important things in that box. I wonder. Timmy jumped up the shelves to the top one. He looked in the box. It was quite dark in the shed, and Timmy was not very fond of it. He thought he saw something moving in the box. No, I must have imagined it. There was a ball of string, a light bulb, a ruler. These were laying on the top of a sheet of brown paper, wrapping paper. He peeked underneath. Yes, here it was, the newspaper Mighty Oak wanted. He pulled it out, and there was a large black dot on it. He went to brush it off. Ah! He jumped. It turned out the big black dot was a house spider. Sorry, said Timmy. He was scared of spiders and did not want to make it cross. That's all right, said the spider. I think I'll make my home somewhere else anyway. Mr. White often uses this box. I'll pick somewhere quieter. Okay, said Timmy. Goodbye, said the house spider. Timmy jumped down with the newspaper. As he was going out, he spotted the error. He put the newspaper down and checked the sacks. Yes, they felt quite dry. He pulled them down, folded each one up, and placed them back on the pile where he'd got them. Then he picked up the newspaper and ran to the mighty tree. Mighty Oak, I hope this is the right one. Let me see, Timmy. Lay it on the ground in front of me. Oh, sorry, Timmy, it's upside down. Whoops, sorry, said Timmy, turning the newspaper around. Good boy. The mighty tree looked at the front page, and then he saw what he was looking for. Car factory closing its doors after 10 successful years. Turn to page 6. Tommy, would you be so good as to turn the page over 3 times for me, please? Yes, Timmy turned the pages over 3 times and then looked up at the mighty tree. Good boy, Timmy. Oh dear, print's very small. Can anyone read here, please? By now nearly all the animals had arrived, and the mighty tree knew the Major could read, but he was on a mission. There was silence. Then a quiet voice said, I can read a little, Mighty Oak. It was a young tawny owl. His name was Orny. No, you can't, said Yellowbeak, his brother, laughing. I can, actually. He can't, Yellowbeak said to everyone. I can so. Poor Orny went red as everyone was watching the brothers' argument. Why have you never told me that? I'm your brother. I would know. I did not say to you, as I know how you feel about people. Orny flew to the fence, and then his brother followed. Orny looked at his brother. Do you remember that summer when we fledged? You had a couple of broken ribs and could not fly for a while. Yes, said Yellowbeak, looking very angry. Well, we were all on our tree and we saw something glistening, so I flew over to see what it was and accidentally flew into the car factory's window. Oh, yes, I do remember that, Orny. I did not mean to laugh. It just looked funny. That's all right. You went missing for about 6 or 7 days, and I couldn't fly to you, and the time I managed to tell Mum and Dad you'd gone. Yes, what I never told you was a little boy found me on the ground. His name was Peter. He took me home. His father gently checked me all over to see if I'd broken anything. I had not. So he told his son I was in shock and to put me in a box with a blanket and cover it, but leave a gap so I could breathe. I must admit I did feel very safe. Peter wanted to keep me, but his dad said he had to let me go when I was strong enough. I was in Peter's bedroom. He would talk to me all the time. He would gently stroke my head. He would lay me on his bed and read every day. He told me he was reading a story. It was called Kidnapped. Well, I would stand next to him as he was reading, and I found as I was watching him I learnt to know some words. After a week, Peter had looked after me so well that I was strong enough to be released. Peter's dad said it was the right thing to do. They put my box in the car and drove me to the woods closest to the car factory. Peter was crying. I will be honest, half of me did not want to leave my human friend, but then I thought of all of you at home. I do remember that day. You came home crying. You don't mean to say you were crying over a human? Mighty Oak interrupted. Yellowbeak, please do not tease your brother. Some humans can be very kind and loving to animals, and when they are, there is a special bond you cannot break. Sorry, Mighty Oak, I've not seen that side of humans. I still visit Peter and his father to this day, and I always will, he said, looking at his brother. Anyway, that is how I can read a little, so I can try for you. Mighty Oak. Thank you, Orny. That would be most helpful. Orny flew down to the newspaper. Gosh, it was small print. Smaller than Peter's book. First, Orny read it very slowly, but then he got more confident. It says, Factory closes its doors after being in business for 10 years. This is not bad news. The British Car Company has done so well that this modest factory now has to move to larger premises. Fortunately for the staff of this factory, no jobs will be lost, as only 10 miles away from original site. There will, of course, be opportunities for apprenticeships and skilled workers also, said the owner. Thank you, Orny. Very well read. Now, can you jump a bit nearer to bottom? Of course. Let me see. These last couple of paragraphs? Yes, Orny, thank you. Workers have extended holiday whilst new site being finished. Speaking to some today as leaving, all seem to express same sentiment. Very glad that all their hard work had paid off. However, will be sad to see old site demolished, as many happy years spent there. Their foreman, a Mr. Ron White, said he was very proud of his staff, and it was a testament to their hard work and dedication that made this British car the success it was. There's a picture of our Mr. White with all the workers here, Mighty Oak. Thank you. Does it say anything at all about the old factory site? Yes, it does. Large site for sale. What will become of this land? Thank you, Orny.